Chicago have to do to win today?
What Chicago basically have to do is to try to slow the game down. They tried to play a Boston Celtics type game Friday night. They tried to run with them. They ran with them for a while, but it always happens as you try to play another team's game, sooner or later it catches up with you.
What they have to do, Gary, they must get a better performance out of Artis Gilmore. He has really been stymied in this series. The Celtics have been playing good basketball. They want more of the same.
And so let's check now the starting lineups for this game. For the Boston Celtics, Bird, Maxwell, Parrish, Archibald, and Ford. Bird was just spectacular Friday night. Greenwood, along with Dwight Jones, Artis Gilmore, Reggie Theus, and Bobby Wilkerson, who played very well in that loss on Friday. Wally Rooney, Darryl Garrettson, along with Ed Middleton, who's the alternate, and we're underway. This may be the end of this season for the Chicago Bulls. Boston would like to sweep this best-of-7 series, finish it right here. They have won 9 of the last 10 games against Chicago. Chris Ford, who hit 3 three-point plays in the first quarter Friday night, threw it away. And the Bulls will have it.
Well, a little lack of communication that time. Cedric Maxwell made a cut to the basket, and Ford thought he was going to stay, and he threw it to where Cedric was, but it was right out of bounds.
Bobby Wilkerson, who hit 7 of 8 shots. Reggie Theus with 26 points. There's Greenwood. Rebound, Chris Ford. David Greenwood got into foul difficulty Friday night. He played only 27 minutes. This man, Larry Bird, played all 48. Maxwell, who had 19 points Friday.
I just love to see Larry do that. He's one of the few players in the league who can go up for a shot, see a man open underneath, and hit the open man. And Maxwell made the move by getting a good cut to the basket.
The Bulls had their 7-game home winning streak broken Friday night. Artis Gilmore, who's taken only 26 shots in this entire series. And that time, he didn't get one on the way.
He gets so deliberate with the ball that it's pretty easy to block a shot if you time him, because he gives you fakes, but he's so deliberate that you should be able to block him, bother him anyway.
And boy, Bill, when that ball comes into him, he really draws the crowd. Reggie Theus. Theus gets the Bulls on the board. Boston with a 4-2 lead. This crowd has just been unbelievable. Friday night, you could hardly hear yourself think. Larry Bird. And we have a foul. Going to go against Robert Parrish. Parrish got into a little foul difficulty on Friday night.
See if we can pick up the foul as Bird gets the ball knocked away. Recovers beautifully. Now Parrish sneaks in. Gilmore goes to box off. Parrish goes up in the air for the rebound. I don't think there was a foul, Bill.
And it's a tie ball game. 4-4 at the 10-14 mark of this first quarter. Tiny Archibald, he has just driven Chicago batty. Chris Ford a three-pointer, and he hits again.
He's picking up right where he started off in the game Friday night by popping in his first 3 three-point shots.
Boy, they really spread it out, don't they? When they have somebody standing in the corner, it's hard to support defensively. And Ford now has 4 three-pointers in the last 2 games. 9 seconds on the shot clock. David Greenwood. Parrish rips it down. Broke it up. Nice play by Dwight Jones. Jones saves it into Wilkerson. Back to Jones. Good hustle by Chicago. Wait a minute. That will not count. Offensive interference. They were around the cylinder. Wally Rooney waves it off.
Dwight Jones made an excellent play on the steal. Saved the ball. Got it back. And he touched the ball when it was still within the imaginary cylinder that rises above the basket.
Jerry Sloan has not been happy. He was unhappy Friday night on that controversial three-point play, and already he's up and storming as he thought they should have had that basket. Great effort that time by Chicago. 7-4. Boston, he stepped on the baseline. They'll give it back to the Bulls. The Chicago Bulls, who finished the year winning 10 in a row. Now, after sweeping the Knicks and 2 have lost 3 in a row.
I'll be surprised, Bill, if Sloan doesn't get a technical in this game.
We'll find out. Theus into Gilmore. Larry Bird backed up into him. Bird thought the foul was going to go on Gilmore, but it's on Larry Bird. Boy, he really bellied up to him on that play.
That's why he picked up the foul.
Foul on Larry Bird, the second team foul against the Boston Celtics. Cornred Maxwell. Look at Archibald. Did you see how he went around Wilkerson?
He was like a little fly just going in and out of traffic there that time. He was outstanding body control.
Tiny Archibald, who was the most valuable player in Game 2 when he had 27 points. He had 16 points Friday. Theus up to Dwight Jones, and Jones with didn't play the last 5 minutes of Friday's game and was upset about it. Really playing with intensity here. Archibald, look out. Let's go back to that previous play.
We'll watch Tiny on this particular move. Well, here's Dwight Jones getting the ball stolen from him. Good Celtic defense, so they converge. Once that ball goes down deep, they converge. And here's Tiny. Look at that move to get by Wilkerson. Then he makes another super move to get by on the other end to lay it up against Artis Gilmore.
The foul going against Reggie Theus. Archibald at the line. Archibald has to lead the league in floor burns and being on the floor. He continually seems to put himself in very vulnerable positions, but he continues to get away with it.
Well, he does that to try to draw free throws.
But that's drawing him a tough way, isn't it, Bill? 11-6. Now, Friday night, this Chicago team jumped to a 10-point lead, 14-4. Then Ford came in and hit 3 3-pointers, and all of a sudden it was all even. David Greenwood. And Greenwood, who had 23 points Friday and then got into foul difficulty, now has 4 points in this game.
And he got open that time on a good screen by Dwight Jones.
Here's Tiny. Archibald, he's fouled by Wilkerson, trying to stay with him. Bobby Wilkerson, who was purchased from the Denver Nuggets this year. He's been a welcome addition to the Chicago team.
I think Bobby probably had one of his finest games on Friday night. He just was outstanding on both ends of the court. 7 for 8 from the floor he shot.
Ford also has played well. Larry Bird, 24 points, 10 assists, and he just makes it look easy.
And you see what happened. Reggie Theus made it look like he was going to come and help out, but he's so worried about Chris Ford that he didn't make the entire move, and Bird was able to pull up and shoot the jumper.
13-8, Boston. 4 points now for Larry Bird. Theus on Ford. And Parrish rips it down to Archibald, always forcing the issue. Here's Ford. He had that three-pointer set up for a moment. Off to Bird. Rebound Ford, and Boston right now controlling the boards. Dwight Jones brings it down. 6 from 10 out of the University of Houston. Theus into Gilmore. The big power move. The basket will count. Foul coming up. Parrish picking up the personal foul.
Now, we're going to see the play here. Theus gets the ball into Artis, who right now gets himself set in the middle. And what Artis does, and he didn't do the other night, is he made a quick move, Bill, to the basket. He didn't waste time and put it on the floor.
Because when he puts it on the floor, he helps the defense out. Now, what happened to play down there with Larry Bird with Reggie Theus, when you help out to double team, you've got to commit yourself one way or the other. Either go all the way or don't go at all. Because if you don't go at all, you don't stop the guy with the ball and you don't stop his release.
As we've had a change now, Rick Roby is coming at center, replacing Parrish. He sits down with those 2 personals. Bill Fitch protecting him in the early going of this game. Backdoor Maxwell. Nice fake by Cedric.
Cedric just did an outstanding job of controlling the positioning of David Greenwood in a fine lob pass. And Cedric Maxwell has played, and there's been not a lot said about him in this series, but he has been a big factor.
That's exactly right. He had 19 points Friday. He had 21 points in game 1. Greenwood. I said this Friday. Greenwood with that picturesque shot. Boy, what a performer he is. There's Archibald again. Artis Gilmore hustling down that time. Comes away with the rebound. Theus to Greenwood. Bobby Wilkerson. And Wilkerson, who hit 7 of 8 Friday, has 1 now, and it's a 1-point game.
That was an outstanding pass by Reggie Theus. Not the pass, not the assist pass, but the pass that set it up was an outstanding pass by Reggie Theus.
Archibald, Wilkerson on him. Rick Roby. Back out to Tiny. Larry Bird again. Roby has inside possession, but Gilmore tipped it away. Here's Theus. Look at Archibald duck over there. Tiny's committed to foul.
Well, Bill, they're doing the same thing, Chicago, that they did Friday night. They're coming out and they're playing Celtic basketball. This has been a very fast-paced game, and I really wonder if they're going to get into the same trouble they got in last Friday.
Well, Bill Fitch said at halftime of that game Friday, they're more tired than we are because we're used to running. It's a 1-point game here. A crowd in the neighborhood of 20,000 on hand. As you look at Artis Gilmore, his team trailing by 1, 15-14. He already in this game has looked more effective than he did Friday night. Reggie Theus. Theus making a move on Chris Ford. Needs some help. Gets it off to Dwight Jones, and Jones takes no time. Dwight Jones with 4 points. Jones, who averaged just over 7 a game during the regular season, averaged almost 15 in the last 9 of the regular season. Philadelphia, boy, they could really take an advantage in that series if they hang on to that lead. They lead 2-1. Larry Bird again.
And again, just like it's happened in all of these games, when Artis Gilmore's man sets a screen, Bill, and the forward comes off that screen, he gets a jump shot anytime he wants. Artis is not stepping out to pick him up.
Larry Bird is having an unbelievable series, and that's no surprise to anybody in the NBA. He was our most valuable player Friday night. 24 points, 10 assists, and 17 rebounds. Jones making things happen as Roby blocked it. Jerry Sloan thought there should have been a foul. Here's Bird again. Rebound by Greenwood. Here come the Bulls on the run. Bobby Wilkerson. Wilkerson changes his pass at the last moment. A beautiful play.
Well, I tell you what, that was some great play on the part of Wilkerson because he had committed himself, couldn't get the shot off, and was able to get the ball inside to Greenwood.
8 points now for David Greenwood as the Bulls have a 1-point lead. Roby misses. Maxwell, who always seems to come up with a loose ball, that'll be off of Chicago. Boston will have the ball, 21 seconds on the shot clock. Chicago has come right back out, as Bill and Rick stated it, running, trying to keep the tempo up. Can they sustain it? With 4:54 to go in this first quarter, Chicago with a 1-point lead.
Well, two things happen when they try to maintain it, Gary. First of all, they get tired because they're not used to playing that way. And the second, there's always a tendency at one time or other to get out of control.
Now, there was a case of Boston being out of control as Tiny walks with the ball. Chicago with the basketball. The Chicago Bulls finished this year 45-37. That was an improvement of 15 games over a year ago as they came on with a rush late in the season. Bobby Wilkerson, rebound Larry Bird. Bird to Tiny. Look at Tiny, how he can change direction so quickly. Wide open. Greenwood, and that'll be off. Wait a minute, we're waiting on Darryl Garrettson. He's indicating it's off of Boston.
Well, Darryl was looking for Wally Rooney. He didn't have the call, and he asked the outside official if he saw it, and Wally said it's going down from Chicago.
Darryl Garrettson, 14 years of experience in the NBA. Wally Rooney with 12. Greenwood. Still a 1-point lead for Chicago. Into Artis Gilmore. Gilmore and Roby, left-hander. Artis Gilmore, who has not been able to produce offensively, now has 4 points in this game, and he might be a new Gilmore. 20-17. Remember, no one has ever lost the first 3 games of a best-of-7 series and went on to win that particular series.
Chicago getting itself going right there as Greenwood picks up the foul on Bird. They've run off 12-4 against the Celtics to get themselves right back into this game with a 3-point lead.
Here comes Ricky Sobers. He's the super sub for the Chicago team as Wilkerson will check out. 3:48 to go in this first quarter. Sobers has not been to the free throw line in this entire series, and he had the second best free throw percentage in the NBA, 4th highest in the history of this league. Chris Ford, Theus on him. Larry Bird over Greenwood. Greenwood at 6'9½" went high, but that didn't bother him. 8 points for Larry Bird. Reggie Theus into Gilmore. They're going to the big man right now. Theus from the baseline. Gilmore reaching over, and it's going to be a foul on Rick Roby, I believe.
But Phil, what he's doing that's so good is when he is getting the ball, he's either making a pretty quick move or he's dishing it back out into that last play.
And when he does that, it improves his effectiveness by at least 75%.
Well, here we see it again. Now he'll get the ball. Now right away, the man came in and he got it right back to Reggie, who took the jumper, and then he was able to get the rebound and the foul by Roby.
The penalty in now as Roby commits his first personal foul. Boy, that's 2 free throws they missed. At one stage Friday night, they were 9 of 18.
That was late in the fourth quarter, too. Free throws really hurt the Bulls in that game. That, along with their inability to execute their offense when the Celtics put the pressure on and the game was on the line.
Well, they were 19 of 29 for the entire night. That's 10 very important points that they didn't get. 20-19, the Bulls by 1. Backdoor to Maxwell. Maxwell continues to sneak in there. You know, he kind of has a little nest in there. He gets in there, and that's his area.
What he does is he establishes position, and then he holds it until the ball is past where the defensive man can intercept it, and then he goes after the ball. But the pass is they throw the ball over to the area, not directly to him.
20-19, Roby. Maxwell, Red Auerbach tells us, that a very intelligent player, plays a lot of backgammon and plays an intelligent basketball game. 2019, the Bulls by 1. Sobers, good but to Dwight Jones.
Yeah, Sobers get the ball out, and Reggie Theus, when he took it down the court, really made that super pass inside, and Reggie is playing an outstanding game directing this Chicago attack so far.
Sobers, well, he's an outstanding passer, Rick, real outstanding passer. In fact, he's one of the most talented guards in the league right now, I'd say.
Remember that pass he made in the All-Star game?
Right.
Reggie Theus down the middle. The doctor wasn't ready for it. We'll be back. Chicago 22, Boston 19. Throughout the playoff picture, then we'll pick the game that we feel would most represent what we want to show you, and we'll be with you 11:30 Eastern Time. Look at this. Milwaukee now has taken the lead over Philadelphia. That's in Milwaukee.
I'll tell you one thing, Gary, this game has made a big turnaround. The Celtics have had 9 fast break opportunities, have scored 10 points off the break. But in the last 6 minutes, they have not scored 1 point or 1 basket at all off of the fast break opportunities. In fact, they haven't hardly gotten any, whereas Chicago has turned it around. They've gotten only 5 fast breaks, but they've scored 8 points off of that, and they have gotten 5 of their last 6 baskets have come from the inside, so they're establishing that inside game and doing a heck of a job with it.
But one thing you may notice, Chicago's playing well, and they've got a 2-point lead.
In other words, you're going to have to continue playing well.
Right, because Boston approaches this game as a 48-minute thing, and they want to make things to add up over 48 minutes.
We got a long ways to go. 2:26 to go in the first quarter. Dwight Jones, Bird with the rebound. I'll say one thing for Jones. He has really been working well inside. Didn't get that one to drop. Jones thus far was 6 points in the game. A chance to tie it up the Boston Celtics. Maxwell gets a screen from Roby. Jones reaches in. That'll be off of Maxwell. Chicago with the basketball. There's a case again. Maxwell, that give and go, does that as well as anybody, doesn't he, on this ball club?
Yes, he does. And you know, it's very funny. He very rarely shoots outside. And you would think that a defensive man would know that he's not going to shoot outside. You drop off and make him shoot the outside shot, the shot he doesn't want to shoot, instead of letting him go get inside where he's very effective.
At halftime, a special report centering around Bert Yancey, as of course today is the final round of the Masters, and that will follow immediately after this game.
Great pass. Just an outstanding pass that Larry Bird just made on the run then.
There's nothing this guy can't do well. Bird led all forwards this year in assists.
I heard he doesn't fold the warm-up suits very well.
They'll overlook that. Kobe Dietrich has checked in now, giving Gilmore a breather. Ricky Sobers changed his shot. Rebound, Chris Ford, and a foul. Sobers comes away with a personal.
So watch this pass that Bill just was talking about. Here he is on the move. He sees Roby run up ahead. He just flips it nice and easy over the defensive man and floats it to the man in perfect position. Roby takes it past Greenwood and lays it in the basket.
What made it so good is that the guy that he was passing to, all he had to do was run to the ball.
That's what I know I liked on a break situation. If I was out there running, you want that ball thrown out high, and so you have a chance to do what you want with it, get the ball in a position that is most comfortable for you, rather than having to hit you on the run where you have to turn backwards to pick up a pass and you might lose it.
You know, Bird just adds a dimension to the game, doesn't he? Passes like that. How many times have you seen a pass like that this year?
I've seen it a lot.
When?
I used to make them.
Oh, okay. 23-22, Boston with the lead. The foul on Sobers is his second. Reggie Theus off to Larry Keenan, who's in. He had 10 points Friday night. Look at Bird locking off on the boards. Roby comes away with it off to Chris Ford. Bird is absolutely playing a complete game in every sense of the word. Here he is with Keenan on him, and he walked with the ball. Well, he did make a mistake.
Well, he came forward and got onto his right foot, which was a pivot foot, and then he moved his left foot and put it down before he made the dribble, and that was, of course, walking.
That's 6 turnovers now against the Boston Celtics. 23-22. We have 52 seconds left in this quarter.
And I think a reflection of the pace of this game is Chicago has made a lot more substitutions than Boston. Boston's only substitution has really been because of the foul trouble by Robert Parrish.
Kobe Dietrich. Chicago really hitting the boards, but to no avail this time down the floor. Greenwood is arguing at the other end with Wally Rooney. He thought he was fouled. But I'll say one thing, the effort has certainly been there. Lonnie Lester in now at guard, along with Theus. He's the rookie from Iowa.
Chicago hasn't scored in the last 2 minutes.
Tiny Archibald trying to shake Lester. Larry Bird. Bird, when in doubt, shoot it.
Well, I'll tell you, when you got the feeling going for you, Gary, I can vouch for that, too. You let it go because you just think everything you throw up is going to go in. And look what Milwaukee's doing to Philly.
They're going to come back after losing that game Friday night in Milwaukee. Foul on Cedric Maxwell.
You know,
Theus thought he was shooting.
I bet you one thing. If you were to ask Larry, I would think that he would tell you that he probably gets more enjoyment out of making a good pass to a teammate for an easy basket than he does out of making an outstanding shot. Because that way you figure that you've got two people on your team that are happy. You're happy because you made a good pass, and the guy that shot the ball and made the basket, he's happy, as opposed to only one person being that happy when you shoot it yourself.
He had 10 assists on Friday night. Again, Chicago having trouble at the free throw line.
They have missed all 4 free throw attempts.
There's Bill Fitch. Bill Fitch, you never know he was up 3 games to none, would you, with that expression? There they get one to go.
That's how you get up there.
I worry a lot, huh? There's Jerry Sloan. Sloan got a little upset Friday night. I might be putting that understated a little bit, but now it's a 1-point game again.
I think I see a big dent over in the Chicago Stadium sign.
Roby, and that will end our first quarter. So the Celtics, after the first 12 minutes, with a 1-point lead here at Chicago Stadium. Boston would like to close this series out. Get some rest as they wait for the outcome of that Milwaukee-Philadelphia series. You can see we have a very ambitious halftime. A special report. Bert Yancey, who's come back from a serious illness to play in the Masters. Highlights of that series in Milwaukee. And a feature on Wilt the Stilt, Wilt Chamberlain, a man that Bill Russell had a few head-on-head meetings with. 25-24, 1-point lead for the Celtics. We start the second quarter. Greenwood.
Yeah, he knows Bill Russell.
That's going to be off of Boston.
Gary, Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell, they know each other. Unfortunately, they played a different game. They played above the rim.
Up there where the air is thin, right? So Chicago has a fresh 24 seconds. Ricky Silvers. Thus far in this game, Chicago shooting 42%. That's off of Boston again. And they'll have another 24 seconds. Boston shooting 47% in the first 12 minutes. Bird was 5 of 9. Greenwood 4 of 8. There's the rebound situation. Turnovers, Boston was 6. Chicago with 1. David Greenwood.
And that's the 8th basket inside 12 feet that Chicago had. They really had a lot of opportunities. They were only 7 for 15, but it shows you how much they were going inside.
Greenwood with 10 points. A 1-point lead for the Bulls. Again, there's electricity in this game as there was Friday night. Roby makes his move.
Greenwood has not gotten in foul trouble so far that he got into Friday night, so they really missed him in the second half Friday night's game because he couldn't play with he had 5 fouls.
When he went out, they kind of collapsed in on Gilmore too, didn't they, Bill?
A lot more because he's a good outside shooter. He doesn't mind taking the outside shot.
26-25. Greenwood missed 21 minutes of that game Friday due to the foul difficulty that Bill was speaking of. Here's Archibald, and I'll tell you, it's all you can do to stay with him. Silvers up to Lonnie Lester for easy 2. Boy, Lester got down there in a hurry. 3-point lead now for Chicago. 28-25, 10:45 to go until halftime. Kevin McHale, the rookie from Minnesota, who was the most valuable player in game 1 of this series with 21 points and 5 block shots. Here's Chris Ford. Silvers on him. Ford. Look at McHale try to follow. Out it comes to Silvers again. They have a 3-on-3 break. Off it comes now to Greenwood. Greenwood. That is blocked, and the foul will go on Larry Bird. That's his second personal.
If Chicago can continue to use this kind of break where they're under control, it'll be effective for them, although they'll have to use their bench more. But what they did Friday night was that on the fast break, they lost control as they started to get tired. Or then the substitutions, they didn't have the timing so that they got a good shot every time on that break.
I think it's interesting and significant that you mentioned how quickly Chicago made the changes today. They waited longer Friday to start sending in their alternates. their substitution. So another missed free throw. 29-25. Chicago with the lead. Archibald, Lester on him. Bird, big move. He's fouled. Greenwood got a hand on him. Greenwood upset, but he caught him, it looked like, on the wrist as he made that move.
You see Larry Bird getting the pass from Archibald, makes a good move when he sees the baseline open, goes back underneath. Greenwood reaches back to try to get him and hits him on the arm. And what Greenwood should have done on that case is to let Larry make a very difficult shot, because he had no chance to block it. As it was, he gets himself into foul difficulty, and that really hurt them when he went out Friday night.
Well, he's out now as Artis Gilmore comes in to replace him. There's a playoff average of 19.7. Just about 2 points below his seasonal average, and he's headed for a big afternoon. He already has 11 points in this game.
He's got quite a string going on the free throw line, doesn't he? I don't think he's missed since March
22nd. March 22nd. He had 18 straight free throws coming into Friday night. 29-27. His game is just excellent. Look at this. This is the end of the first period now. Milwaukee really moving in that game. They're trying to even up that best-of-7 series at 2 games each. Keenan out to Ronnie Lester. Bird in there again with another rebound. He had 17 of them Friday night. Archibald tiny to Larry Bird. Kobe Dietrich trying to stay with him, and Bird is just sizzling.
Bird has a real fine move. What he does, he'll put the ball on the floor and make a move like he's going to the basket to freeze the defense in just a second. Then he just backs right up, pops it in the basket.
We're all even now, 29 all. Bird with 14 points. Ricky Sobers will let him get away with that.
Well, he got by, and what happened is Artis Gilmore screened Rick Roby off from the play so that Roby could not make a move and to get over to Sobers.
Ricky Sobers, who's had 6 game-winning shots for Chicago coming off the bench. He has really done an excellent job coming off of the bench this year, something that Chicago didn't have a year ago. They were not very strong in the bench area. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Bird somehow got rid of it. 3 seconds. 2, 1. Roby just got it underway and hit it. Roby at the shot clock expiring was able to get it. 31 all.
That was very close to being a 24-second violation. I don't know if the ball was really out of Roby's hands when the clock went off.
Ricky Sobers to Kobe Dietrich. Dietrich a good outside shooter for a big man at 6'11". He has 2 points. 2-point lead for Chicago. Archibald to Kevin McHale. Oh, this is good playoff basketball. And that's going to be on Roby. Roby caught for pushing off. Oh, wait a minute. 3 seconds in the lane. They called Roby for 3 seconds. He thought he had a foul, I believe.
Well, Artis Gilmore shoved him right in the back. That's why Bill Fitch is so upset, but the official said a 3-second violation. The Bulls up by 2.
Rick and Bill, I don't know if you watched the Masters yesterday, but I've never seen such excitement as there was yesterday in the 3rd round.
We got the 2 best players in golf going up against each other head-to-head to decide the championship. You couldn't ask for any more than that. It's probably one of the most beautiful and prestigious golf courses in the events. Artis Gilmore makes a nice move inside. Again, Gary, a quick move. He didn't waste time.
He's a different player in this game. 35-31. Gilmore was 6 points. 8 minutes remaining in this 2nd quarter. At halftime, we'll have a special report from the Masters concerning Bert Yancey. Brent Musburger will update the Philadelphia-Milwaukee game highlights. Bird, McHale follows. Chicago thought they should have had a foul there.
Someone should have had a foul there.
It's either charge or a block, but no call, and McHale again doing a good job on the offensive boards.
Dietrich setting a pick on ML Carr, who's just checked in. Dietrich 2 in a row from out there. 37-33. Kobe Dietrich can get the hot hand. He's a streak shooter. Played for San Antonio. He would start really filling the basket out. Out it comes to Tiny Archibald. Lester doing a pretty good job on him defensively. It's got to help the Chicago team to get some mileage out of him in this game. ML Carr.
And ML Carr walked on that move, and they didn't call it. He picked his pivot foot up before he made his move. They let him get away with it. Boston gets 2 points they shouldn't have had.
ML Carr, his first 2 points. Carr has played extremely well in this series. Lester on a move. Out to Dietrich. Ricky Sobers is wide open. And Chicago now is hitting from outside. 39-35. Sobers with 4 points. Carr again. Keenan, and we have a loose ball foul on Kevin McHale.
I don't know about you, but I'm getting tired watching this game. Here's the play again. Shot from the outside. Now watch McHale as he makes an effort to get to the boards. He's got his left arm over the top of Dietrich's shoulder, and that's where the foul came. And with 6:53 to go, the Celtics find themselves trailing the Chicago Bulls 39-35.
I tell you, I don't know about you, but this is a very enjoyable basketball game.
Two teams playing real hard, and they're really up for it. Have to correct that one master situation. Nicholas and Watson are not going head-to-head, so that makes it a little tougher for Jack, I think, to catch Tom.
Keenan had that shot partially blocked. The Bulls with a 39-35 lead, and Milwaukee is really handing Philadelphia a rough going over in Milwaukee. The Milwaukee Arena must be storming just like this place is today. Here's Kevin McHale. And a foul on Kobe Dietrich. Nice fake that time.
He did what he did. It was what you call a no-no. He left his feet on defense. Billy goes for the head fake by McHale. McHale makes a little move right there, a little ball and head fake. Kobe left his feet, and when that happens, invariably you'll be watching the player shoot a couple of free throws.
Second foul on Dietrich. Look at the shooting by the Celtics, 70%. Tell you, Bird is the man that's really... McHale. Roby tries to keep it in play, and Roby can't get it to drop. Gilmore brings it down. Roby playing a lot now. Parrish on the bench with 2 fouls early. Bill Fitch got him out of there. With 5:56 to go in this very quickly played first half. Silvers, Carr fouled him. He'll have a couple of shots coming. Hey, Silvers, amazing he got that shot off at all. Silvers to go to the line. Reggie Theus comes in for Lester, and a team that's tired needing some help, and they got some help from Ronnie Lester.
Well, Gary, every time you say something, something usually happens. Look who's shooting free throws.
Yeah.
You said he hadn't shot a free throw.
That's right. The old jinx is back. This time, I'm glad for him that he got to the line. He's been wanting to get there. That's right. He did not shoot at the free throw line at all. Amazing what he's done this year. He's hit .935% of his free throws. He did shoot in the Knicks series. He was 3 of 4 in that 2-game series.
Not a bad series.
And now he's at the free throw line, and he took advantage of it.
First time he shot in this whole series in 4 games.
Isn't that amazing? 41-35. He just couldn't get Archibald to foul him.
Chicago's run off 10 to 4 to take this 6-point lead.
Kevin McHale posting up strong, and it's 41-37. McHale with 4 points in the game.
I tell you what, that young man exudes confidence. You can just tell that he knows how to play the game, and he's not worried about anything.
He led all rookies in block shots. He led all rookies in field goal percentage and played like a veteran. Here's Archibald. Beautiful move by Tynan.
Well, that pass should never have been made to Greenwood, that lob pass. I don't think that you could have gotten that one, Bill. In your prime.
Oh.
Certainly not today. 7 points for Archibald. Oh, what a play by Silvers. He disappeared from sight. 43-39. Roby. Blocked by Gilmore. Gilmore up to Silvers. 2-on-1. Bird is back. 3-on-1 now. Theus. And Chicago has a 6-point lead. 45-39, and this place is going crazy. I've never been at a noisier arena than Chicago Stadium.
Now that's the way to run a fast break off a blocked shot. He kept the ball in play when he blocked it.
McHale. Gilmore trying to stay with a 6'11" rookie. He's going to take a tough shot and gets it.
Toby doesn't worry about anything.
Well, they have said, Bill Fitch has said that if they had the draft to do all over again, they would still take Kevin McHale if they had the #1 pick in all the draft. And he has really come on to help the Celtic team. Archibald, 4 minutes, 5 seconds to go until half. 45-41, Chicago. McHale again. Rebound, this time ripped down by Dwight Jones. Up to Theus, 2-on-1, Greenwood, and they are really running the break.
Reggie Theus is making some outstanding passes, Bill.
Look at that fan. That shows you some of the enthusiasm. 47-41. Theus passing the ball extremely well. Here's McHale moving inside. He's fouled.
And that shows you the versatility of this man. But we're going to watch that block and that great break that they got, Bill. There's the play coming up. Roby goes up. Now Artis is inside, and there he is. Beautiful timing. Just flicks the ball, keeps it alive. Down the other end, Sobers dishes off, and here comes Reggie Theus to lay it in. Great play on both ends. But again, about this man at the line. He's 6'11", right? He's shooting the outside jumpers. He's getting on the boards. Milwaukee's starting to close the gap a little bit there. They're still trailing by 14. They were trailing by 18, I believe, at one point. But McHale can put it on the floor, and how many times do you see a man 6'11" that has that type of versatility?
Well, Bill said Friday night he might be the best running man, big man in the NBA.
Because he is great getting up and down court. And then in front court, he makes good moves. He does what you can't get most big guys to do, to take the long strides inside.
47-43. McHale has 8 points, all of them coming in the second quarter of play. Boy, you've got that kind of bench strength. That's what it takes to win NBA championships. The Celtics are the best record in basketball. Jones had it broken up. ML Carr comes away with it. Chance now to cut it to 2. The Celtics 3:16 to go, second quarter. McHale off to Larry Bird. Bird hasn't shot the ball for a while. Roby, he just kept rotating around and found an open spot. 47-45. 4 points for Roby. And at halftime, that special report, a remarkable comeback by Bert Yancey, and we'll have it. Greenwood. Again to Gilmore. Gilmore just won't get it to drop, and Bird with yet another rebound to Gerald Henderson. Henderson will pull up with one. And all of a sudden, it's tied up.
If I were Sloan, I'd be a little worried, because they're playing as well as they can play. They're playing pretty good defense. They're getting good inside shots, and the ball game's tied up.
Well, it's what Bill Fitch said. We played our best basketball of the year to win these 3 games. They're doing it again today. Gilmore is fouled.
There's the earlier Boston play down the other end of the court. Here comes McHale with the basketball. He's got it to Bird. They get it. You see the good ball movement on the outside. Quickly into Roby. The defense totally out of position. An easy basket for the Celtics, and they do it as well as anyone. We see the play inside, and this is what Artis must do more of. He gets the ball, and right away he puts it on the floor and makes the move. You see McHale coming in, but because Artis made the fast move, there was the foul by Roby. He's able to get to the basket a lot quicker. In the game Friday night, he was getting the ball and not making a fast move and enabling all of the Celtics to come in, converge on him, and cause a great deal of problems for the big man.
Speaking of problems, this is a problem for Gilmore. Prior to that free throw, he'd hit only 19 of 30 in this series. But he gets one there, and it's 48-47 Chicago. Gilmore, during the course of the year, shot 71% from the line. 2-point lead for the Bulls. 2:20 to go till halftime. At halftime, we'll have highlights as we go to New York of that Milwaukee-Philadelphia game, and looks like the Bucks are really rolling.
There's been a subtle change in the Boston offense right now.
And
in that Gerald Henderson does not create the pressure that Tiny Archibald does to bring the ball up. Tiny Archibald keeps continual pressure on the other team when he brings the ball up offensively.
Here's the move right here. Larry Bird has the basketball, and he tries to make the pass. Theus quickly goes over, dives inside, and almost destroys one of the Chicago Lovables, the young ladies who perform here in between quarters and timeouts.
That timeout was called by Boston with 2:10 left in this first half. Looks like Theus is all right. It looked like his wrist he may have hit. But he is talking things over. They have a 20-second timeout. So we'll be going right back into action.
I'll tell you one thing that I noticed today, these 2 games we've done here, that Chicago, if they practiced all year, they'd be a much better team if they ran. They'd have to tighten up on the defense a little bit, but they'd be an outstanding team with running a fast break under control.
I agree with you, Bill, and the thing about it is they would have been better prepared to play the Celtic team if they had been doing it all year.
You saw that graphic a moment ago. Our next playoff game Wednesday night. We'll have the site announced as soon as we determine the best game for you to be viewing. That will be our continuing coverage of the playoffs right here on CBS. Traveling call, and Chicago with a 2-point lead, and with 2 minutes left in this first half. Celtics and Bulls shooting very well from the line, or I should say from the field. They did not shoot well in the early game Friday night. Gilmore in a lot of traffic. And a reaching in foul on Larry Bird, I believe.
So it is on Larry Bird. A lot of traffic in there. Good penetration move.
That's 3 on Larry Bird, and that might be the only thing that stopped him today is to get him into foul trouble.
Yeah, as good as Larry is, he's tough to score from the bench. But there again, Philadelphia making the move back. They've cut off 8 points from that big Milwaukee lead.
Boy, that'd be something to the Sixers that go in there and win 2 games. That foul put him into the penalty. Artis Gilmore makes it 50-47. Artis now shooting better from the free throw line. He has 10 points in this game.
Well,
And he just hit 4 straight.
They've made 7 out of 8 this quarter.
So that is a complete reversal of what was going on Friday night for the Chicago team. 4-point lead.
They're only 2 for 6 in the first quarter.
Larry Bird, Greenwood on him. Bird regains his composure, and he's got a foul. Boy, he just takes advantage of every little move. Greenwood with his 3rd personal foul.
Sometimes I think maybe it's better if a defensive player isn't a good jumper, because then he won't think that he can block every shot that a man takes, and he'll probably stay on the floor a lot more. So Greenwood's going to have to go to the bench as Keenan comes in for him.
And that hurts the Chicago team, because Greenwood in there, they have really played a different kind of game. Keenan comes in. Keenan did get 10 points Friday night. Larry Bird this year shooting 86% from the line, which was 8th best in the NBA. He has 15 points already in this game. It's a 2-point game. 51-49. Chicago, a minute 30 left in the first half. Reggie Theus and Wilkerson now the guards for Chicago. ML Carr 6'6" against 6'7". Gilmore, power move. McHale hits the boards off to Rick Roby to Gerald Henderson. Henderson with great quickness. They think that Henderson has a great future. ML Carr fell down, returning defensively. He's up and going. We're all tied again, 51 all. That's the way it's been. Very, very close. Wilkerson, rebound, cleared down by Kevin McHale. I'll tell you, Roby and McHale have really done a job coming off the bench. ML Carr. And Boston takes the lead with 50 seconds to go. 53-51. Carr with 4 points. Jerry Sloan asks for a timeout. 20-second timeout with 44 seconds left in the first half.
I'll tell you, Bill, you had better be on your toes every second you're in the game against the Celtics. The moment you let down a little bit, you do something wrong, they are going to capitalize on it. There's a perfect example of how Bulls get up by 6, the next thing you know, they're tied. They get up by 4, the next thing you know, they're trailing by 2 because they make a few mistakes. Their shot selection isn't that good sometimes.
Well, I think that brings up a good point. Boston is playing like they could win it all.
Well, that's a little early. But they're playing, see, this is not one of those, the Bulls, although they're a good team, they are not one of those super teams that we've watched all year.
I think what impressed me, though, Bill, was that game we did March 29th. They came in against Philadelphia. They had to win that to win the Atlantic Division, and they did it.
Well, they played that. That was a different situation. They were at home. But what I'm saying is here, they're playing. What you like about the Boston team is that
they make plays like that. That's what you like about it, right?
right.
That's 14-4 they've run off against the Bulls.
When they find a team they can beat, they beat them.
I think that might be correct.
You know, they don't let a team off the hook. It's what I'm talking about. You know, they don't come in and not be ready to beat a team that they can beat.
Right now, a 4-point lead. Theus, three-pointer. McHale. Keenan saves it in. Great effort by Keenan. And Dwight Jones cuts it to 2. That could be a big play in this game.
That helps the Bulls a great deal. They can stop them from scoring here.
1 second. Oh, ML Carr almost had a three-pointer at the buzzer. So it's a 2-point game at halftime. Boston leads Chicago 55-53. And at halftime, stay with us, as we're going to have an excellent halftime coming your way. We're going to have Brent Musburger giving us highlights on that Philadelphia game. A feature on Bert Yancey revolving around the Masters. And a look at Wilt Chamberlain. And Musburger will be back with the highlights of that game in Milwaukee in a moment. 24 minutes left in this game. The Boston Celtics would like to sweep this best-of-7 series. They lead by 2 at halftime, 55-53. Looking at the stats, I guess the turnover situation, very interesting, but shooting-wise, both these teams shooting much better, Bill, than they did Friday night.
That's because they're getting a lot of stuff inside.
10 turnovers for the Celtics as opposed to only 5 for the Chicago Bulls.
And what's hurt the Bulls is that they have shot very poorly from the outside. Inside of 12 feet, they're 15 for 26. Boston's 12 for 24. But outside that 12-foot area, Chicago 7 for 20. Boston 10 for 18.
Both Larry Bird and David Greenwood hitting 6 of the 11 shots from the field. Bird high man on the floor with 16. Greenwood leading the Bulls with 13. Reggie Theus broke it up. Parrish, who didn't play a lot in that first half after picking up 2 quick fouls, very ably supported by Rick Roby, who came in. Reminder, we're going to have at the conclusion of this game our most valuable player, the Miller High Life most valuable player. $1,000 will be presented to the Special Olympics, the name of the player selected, and we'll be announcing that at the conclusion of the game. 57-53. Our MVP Friday night was Larry Bird. Gilmore on the floor. They don't win today. The season comes to a close, and Gilmore went down at 7-2 to come up with that ball. Dwight Jones, 57-55, a 2-point game. 10 points for Dwight Jones, who continues to work well inside. Robert Parrish. By the way, his first 2 points of the game.
Yeah, well, that's a great pass through by Tiny Archibald that time to get to him, and Robert acknowledged that and said, nice pass, Tiny, on the way down the floor.
What bench strength you can have when you can leave Parrish on the bench with 2 fouls and get the performance they did from Roby. 59-55, Boston, Tiny Archibald, Wilkerson on him. Cedric Maxwell, he's in trouble. Here comes Wilkerson. And Wilkerson with Bird there, but Bird lays off of him because he has 3 fouls. Larry Bird wasn't going to take a chance there and commit that 4th personal.
I don't think he can catch him.
59-57. Bobby Wilkerson with 4 points. Parrish trying to set the screen on Wilkerson. Cedric Maxwell. Maxwell to Bird, almost intercepted. Greenwood's got to be careful. He has 3 fouls. Larry Bird, rebound, ripped down by Greenwood. Up to Theus. Bird is back. Chris Ford comes out of there. Bird with a good defense.
Reggie shouldn't have shot that ball. He had no shot that time. He should just pulled it out.
Look at that pass by Archibald. Maxwell rejected by Gilmore 2 times. 59-57. Theus, beautiful pass. The basket will count.
Boy, that's a great fast break, Bill. And again, Artis Gilmore, by just flicking the ball out, started the whole thing with his defense. Great passes down the end by Theus and Wilkerson.
Crowd now has erupted. We're all even. 59-0. Greenwood now with 15 points in the game.
And I'll tell you what, Artis Gilmore makes a great play here defensively. He bothers Tiny, then he bothers Cedric Maxwell the first time. When Cedric goes back up again, he comes and knocks it away and keeps the ball in play. And there goes Chicago off for the break. Reggie Theus with the ball in the middle. Now watch the great plays coming up here. Theus drives in, gets us to Wilkerson. He hits the trailer. Greenwood, he lays in the basket. He gets fouled. And I'll tell you one thing about Artis, Gary. When I first saw him playing in the ABA, he was blocking guys' jump shots from the corner. And I'd never seen anything like it. But so many goaltending calls came against him. I think he got gun shy, and he kind of reverted back into not blocking shots anymore. But you can see what he is capable of when he puts his mind to it.
Bill Fitch, a very pensive Bill Fitch. Greenwood with that 3-point play gives the Bulls a 1-point lead, 60-59. David Greenwood with 16 points. Bird with 18, leading their teams respectively. Here's Maxwell. Dwight Jones on in. We have 9.5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Larry Bird, 20 points for Larry Bird.
One thing about Larry Bird's shot, and he'll play a long time, Bill, is he is not a real pure jump shooter where he gets up in the air and has to get the elevation. It's almost like a set jump, and that's the kind of a guy that can shoot forever.
61-60. Boston again by 1. Look at Parrish. He fell down. He and Gilmore having a shoving match. Gilmore in trouble. He walked to the ball.
Now that's exactly the problem that we see what happens with Artis when he doesn't make a quick move. You see all those those green shirts around them. He had 4 guys around him this time. Here he gets the ball inside. Look at him battling with Parrish. Parrish trying to back into him. They're throwing each other off. Parrish is down. Artis gets the ball, and they had 4 Celtics around them. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's
7 turnovers against Chicago now. And a loose ball foul pushing up. Dwight Jones picking up the personal. It is physical. It's a little physical in the playoffs, right, Bill?
Always are.
Larry Bird with 20 points. Spots Archibald. Theus tries to stay with him. Bird open again. Rebound. Jones for a moment. Batted away by his own teammate Gilmore. Archibald to Bird again. He's missed 2, trying to use the glass. Here's Theus. Oh, what a move by Theus. To Gilmore. Beautiful play.
Now again, Bill, that should have been a foul. Either a charge on Artis or a block on Larry Bird. There was too much contact for nothing to be called on that play.
Boy, did Theus avoid the man on the floor, though. 12 points now for Gilmore. Tiny Archibald, and we're going to have a timeout call. Wait a minute, a foul. 20-second timeout, that's what it was. Boy, Archibald called that in a hurry, didn't he?
Well, here we'll watch the last play coming down, and you'll see this great behind-the-back dribble by Theus. Archibald tries to step in right there. Super behind-the-back dribble on the part of Reggie Theus. Takes it down, and he'll get it off to Gilmore. Now watch the contact here between he and Bird. Right there, Larry steps in front. Artis goes up. He bangs into Larry. Looked like it could have been an offensive foul on that play. No call. Basket for Chicago.
Boy, that was a remarkable break. You know, Red Auerbach is here watching this game, Bill Russell, and he is so impressed with Reggie Theus. I remember at the All-Star game he was talking about it.
Yeah, he thinks he's one of the outstanding guards in the league right now.
And he was a starter in the All-Star game at the guard spot, as was Gilmore at the center spot. He'll pitch his team with a 1-point disadvantage right now.
Chicago's run off 7-2 to get this lead after they fell behind. And there's a foul on Gilmore inside against Robert Parrish.
That's only Gilmore's first. There's Red Auerbach.
Gray.
Mangurian with him.
No. What do you call him now, Bill?
Gray.
Ray Auerbach?
I heard you calling that to his face, too. He just grinned. Here comes Theus. Reggie Theus in trouble. Bird comes out of there with it. Chicago with a 1-point lead. Tiny Archibald. Oh, you forget how he can shoot from outside.
There's a delay of game warning coming up against the Celtics. And what happened that last time, Theus made a great steal, but Bill, he didn't stop at the foul line, got himself caught up in the air, had nothing to do with the ball.
Well, that's one of the things that happens to a team that is not used to running. You get to running, and sometimes the game gets ahead of your thinking.
63-62, Boston by 1. Look at the bumping between Ford and Theus. Now Ford dropped in on Gilmore. Gilmore over Robert Perry.
Looked like World War III out there between those two on that sequence.
Gilmore with 14 points. That ball partially blocked. We're going to have goaltending on it. Gilmore got the ball.
Artis didn't like that. Let's watch Artis on the last play aside, battling with Parrish. Look at him knock him off. He just knocked Parrish back, got the inside position, just held him off and used brute strength to lay it in.
Gilmore, a different player in this game. Difficult shot. A 1-point lead for Chicago, 66-65. Maxwell. Gilmore brings it out of there. Maxwell reaches in and commits a foul. That'll be a backcourt foul on Cedric Maxwell.
Well, you can't say that Chicago fans aren't supporting their team in these games in Chicago Stadium. They're just going crazy. They love it. Now watch the good play by Greenwood. He makes Maxwell go under. He gets it up a little bit too high and short on the glass. Artis with the superior size and strength just pulls it away. Maxwell picks up the backcourt foul.
Artis Gilmore, I think he's been reading all of these clippings around here that he hasn't been shooting the ball enough, been involved enough offensively. He's an entirely different player here today. Gilmore thus far with 14 points. 66-65. It's a 2-point lead now for the Bulls. 7 minutes left in this third quarter, and this place is absolute bedlam right now. Never been anywhere where it's been noisier. Larry Bird. Dwight Jones off to Reggie Theus. Here they come on the run. Theus, Dwight Jones. Jones blocked by Parrish. Jones again. Maxwell breaks it down. Jones challenged Parrish, and that time came away on the short end of the stick. 67-65, Chicago by 2. Larry Bird, and ties it up.
And that's what Tiny killed him with in the first 2 games in Boston and played well in the 3rd game Friday night. That penetration, Larry just stood out there, waited for Tiny to do his thing. Tiny got it to him, and he popped it home.
Bird already with 22 points. We have over 6 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. Gilmore to Jones.
Artis is a different player here today, Bill. He's getting the ball and either passing it or making his move, and he's really improved this game tonight. What a pass by Bird!
Did you see that? Larry Bird. Unbelievable pass. Gary Sloan watching his team play maybe as well as they can play.
That's it. They sure did. Now watch Larry Bird on this particular play. The Celtics coming down the court. Tiny making his penetration move again. He whips around Artis. Spots Larry open. Larry quickly sees the man open to the side. Maxwell takes it in, and the foul call. Larry Bird, Tiny Archibald, the Celtics playing great basketball right now.
I think that's an overly optimistic fan that made that, because look at what Larry Bird has done thus far. 22 points, 8 rebounds. Boston trailing by 2.
One thing Boston has not been able to do is you see Philadelphia now again closing the gap further, only down by 8 points, is that they have not been able to get their inside game going in this quarter. The Celtics, that is. They only have 2 baskets inside 12 feet. Chicago has 7. That has been a big factor so far here in the 3rd quarter. But again, as you pointed out and Bill has pointed out, Chicago's throwing their best shot at the Celtics. And here's a chance with Cedric Maxwell at the line to tie it up again.
That's like going out in a boxing ring, throw your Sunday punch, the guy's knees don't even buckle.
Then you got to think about changing your profession then, huh?
Yeah, either that or saying, boy, I sure hope I can outscore him on points because I'm not going to knock him out.
6 points for Maxwell. First 2 points in the 2nd half. All even, 69 all. Reggie Theus. Look at Gilmore moving. Gilmore really moving out there away from the ball. 11 seconds on the shot clock. Greenwood, tough shot. Bird was right up there with it. David Greenwood with 18 points. I'm so impressed with this 2nd-year man from UCLA. Larry Bird, picked up by Larry Keenan, who's checked into the game. Jones had to go out. He picked up his 4th foul just before that timeout. That's off of the Celtics.
Good defensive play by Bobby Wilkerson. He threw the timing off, and that's sometimes throwing the timing off a play is just as important as stealing the ball because you make a turnover.
13 turnovers against the Celtics. Reggie Theus scored on him. 5:19 to go, 3rd quarter. Theus, rebound, Larry Bird. That's his 9th of the game. Broken up by Wilkerson. He can't save it in. Boston will have the ball. Great effort by this man, who will be a free agent at the end of this year after being purchased from the Denver Nuggets. I would imagine the way he's played, they're going to pursue getting his name on that dotted line.
He's not hurting himself with this effort in the playoffs.
Look at the turnovers. Celtics leading Chicago at their running game, doing pretty well protecting the ball, but only 8 themselves. Out it goes to Tiny. There's Gilmore chasing it down. A 2-point lead for Chicago. Reggie Theus waiting Gilmore. There's a big guy. Needs somebody to get the ball to for a moment.
And if he's going to rest, that's the time to rest, Bill.
That's right. Give a good outlet pass, and then wait to see if the pass break works. And if it doesn't work, then you come up and get part of the offense.
Larry Keenan gives the Bulls a 4-point lead. Oh, this crowd, standing room only, around 20,000. They came back. They're just as vocal as they were Friday night after that bitter setback that they suffered. Here is Chris Ford.
Somebody goofed on that one. Somebody should have been picking Chris Ford up.
Ford was 6 points.
Well, with Larry Bird and Tiny Archibald out there exchanging the ball, it's hard to concentrate on Chris Ford.
Theus, Maxwell, here they come. Tiny Archibald, nobody stopped him. And as he bumps in there, that basket's going to count, and he's fouled. You got to stop him somewhere up the floor.
That's what he does all the time so well. It's continual pressure when he has the ball because he can go to the hoop at any time. Plus, he's a good outside shooter.
Well, we forget, Bill, he averaged 34 points one year.
And he shoots with either hand just as well. That was a right-handed shot he just made, and he's left-handed.
The foul on Wilkerson, that's his second personal. It's all tied up, a chance to take the lead now. The Boston Celtics. The Celtics, who this year won 62 games. To win games 2 years in a row, and also the Atlantic Division title back-to-back. 74-73, Boston by 1, 3:55 to go, third quarter. Greenwood, off to Wilkerson, Artis Gilmore, to Larry Keenan, Bobby Wilkerson. Greenwood tries to follow Parrish with a rebound out to Chris Ford. Archibald, McHale, checks in and immediately scores.
And there you talk about the running. Bill said one of the best running big men in the game. A great example of it. He was right there on the break.
McHale now with 10 points. This Chicago team with a great effort, but still down by 3 right now. Bobby Wilkerson, Bird blocked it. Greenwood comes up, rejected by Parrish, goaltending. Tiny down at center court.
Darryl Garrison put a little body block on Tiny and knocked him down. Tiny's still looking at him, and Bill Fitch.
Tiny trying to get a free throw.
I guess so.
Is Bill Fitch grinning, or is that a grimace? I can't tell.
He was kind of grinning a little bit. Here comes Parrish on this play by Keenan. Let's see what. Yeah, that ball looked like it was coming down.
76-75 after that goaltending. Ford out to Robert Parrish. Broken up by Greenwood, but McHale gets it back. Wait a minute, is it goaltending? We're awaiting a decision. We're going to have a foul instead. Foul is going to go on Ricky Sobers, his third.
See if we pick up the foul on this one. Inside, the pass coming inside to McHale. It's knocked away. Sobers reaches in, fouls in. Now look at Gilmore. They said they wanted goaltending. That was not goaltending. That ball was barely out of his hands when the ball was blocked.
The penalty now in. 15 foul against Chicago. McHale missing. McHale this year has been a good free throw shooter, 71%. Look at that. At least one block shot each of his last 16 games. This has been the best shot blocking team in years. They were second in the NBA this year. Had almost twice as many as last year. McHale showing some of the pressure of this playoff. And Bill Fitch wanted to get out of here with a sweep. A long ways from it. This is the crowd. McHale gets one of them. Look at this score now. Milwaukee by 4 in the third period. I'll tell you, Billy Cunningham's team wins 2 back-to-back in the Milwaukee Arena. That is quite an accomplishment. David Greenwood, Ronnie Lester's checked back in. Sobers to Gilmore. He's fouled. And the ball movement very impressive again by Chicago.
That foul's going against Parrish. Larry Bird's lucky he didn't get the foul. Now watch Gilmore battle for position with Robert Parrish. He gets it and tries to go up strong. Bird comes over. Right there, looks like he might have touched him, but Parrish picks up the foul. The Bulls trailing the Celtics by 2 with 2:47 to go in the third.
Part of the crowd here, a standing room only crowd at Chicago Stadium. We have 2 minutes, 47 seconds to go in this third quarter. Boston with a 2-point lead, but Artis Gilmore at the line.
We just talked a few minutes ago how Boston had not gotten inside. Their last 4 baskets have come inside the 12-foot area, so right away they've gotten themselves back into establishing an inside game, because if any team knows the importance of getting in the other team's defense, it's the Celtics.
Artis Gilmore with his second shot. The penalty still not in as far as Chicago is concerned. It's a 1-point lead now for Boston. 77-76. Gilmore with 16 points. Archibald with Ronnie Lester, who played very well against him defensively in the first half. Parrish, Gilmore. Sloan thought Parrish walked with the ball. Gilmore with the rebound. Up it comes to Lester. Ronnie Lester, who came over from Portland in that trade of #1 draft choices. Kelvin Ramsey for Lester. 13 seconds on the shot clock. Greenwood. Baseline. Sobers almost ran out of room that time to Lester. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Keenan, 3 seconds. They hurried it up. Parrish with the rebound. He had that ball on the heel of his hand.
That's great Celtic defense. Look at this play to McHale by Tiny.
McHale walked with the ball. McHale is upset.
will pick it up. Tiny will make the super pass into McHale, who's wide open, got down the floor quickly. Let's watch his feet. He catches it. Well, we're not going to be able to see it from this particular angle, but Daryl Garrison right on top of the play felt the walk was there.
Gilmore comes out. Kobe Dietrich replaces him. 1:55 to go, third quarter. 77-76 in favor of the Boston Celtics. Backdoor. Ronnie Lester has to get out of there to Kobe Dietrich. Rebound, Bird. Up to Chris Ford. To Parrish. The Celtics now give it to the man who controls their offense. Tiny Archibald to Bird. Robert Parrish. Rebound, Dietrich. Parrish has missed a couple of shots he'd usually hit. And now the Bulls have a chance again to take the lead. Lester gonna pop one. Ronnie Lester, 4 points. Lester played very well in game 1 against this team. He came in, had a career-high 10 points. Kevin McHale. McHale with Greenwood on him, up to Ford. A minute to go, third quarter. Bird lost it. It'll be Chicago's ball. Look at the bench scoring. Celtics the advantage there. And now Jerry Sloan motioning a play from the far side with Lester and Sobers bringing it up. 78-77 Chicago. Lester off to Greenwood. Two dead center shots now by the Bulls.
Lester doing a real good job in a reserve role.
You can see why Jerry Sloan said before the game, we think he's got a great future. Now, away from the ball. Gerald Garrison has spotted a foul.
Ricky
Sobers, his fourth. Sobers with 4. Jones with 4. Greenwood with 3. A penalty with Ford now going to the line. There is Sobers.
A foul in that situation, Gary, I think hurts the team. The Chicago Bulls having a little bit of momentum going in their favor, and all of a sudden a foul away from the basketball, and they send the Celtics to the free throw line and a chance to cut the 3-point lead down to 1.
And I mean away from the ball. It was clear over in the corner. Ford at the line. Chris Ford cuts it to 2. 80-78.
Now what Chicago could do here is get it in quick, Bill. If they get a good opportunity jump shot down the other end, they'll have a chance to get 2 shots to 1. And there's going to be another foul.
Wally Rooney spotting this one. It's going to be Gerald Henderson committing the foul. So still a 2-point lead for Chicago. There's Henderson arguing his situation. That's the first foul on him. 34 seconds to go, third quarter. Boy, what a fourth game we have here. Third game was an excellent game Friday night. Ronnie Lester, Henderson on him. Playoff basketball. You never know. The Bulls have lost the first 3 as tight as this one has been. Here's Lester. Intercepted by Chris Ford. Dietrich. Dietrich thought he had a traveling call because he hit the ball. But Ford got it off the last moment to Parrish. It's all even 80 all Theus, and that'll end our third quarter. Go back to that last play.
Well, they thought they should have been walking. Let's see Ford take a couple little steps. Robert Parrish took a couple little stutter steps before he'd up to lay it in. But Chris Ford read that play beautifully defensively, made it.
Sunday will continue after this word from your local station. Preceding announcement was furnished by the National Basketball Association. This place is in Bedlam right now.
And you saw the 2 benches, the Celtic players up giving their own teammates a hand, the Chicago bench sitting down, everybody's sullen.
But the Chicago fans are on their feet. This could be the final 12 minutes of the season for the Chicago Bulls. They've got to win. 3-pointer. Larry Bird with a 3-pointer to start this fourth quarter. Kind of puts a little damper on your enthusiasm if you're a Chicago fan. 83-80. Bird made it look easy. David Greenwood, Bird on him. Reggie Theus. Boy, this crowd has really been a tremendous crowd for the Chicago team. Kobe Dietrich. Keenan tips it off to Greenwood. They have a fresh 24 seconds. There is Gilmore on the bench right now. He has 16 points. Steal by Larry Larry Bird. Back is Lester. Bird. Larry Bird doing it all. He was 10th in the NBA this year in steals, averaging 2 a game. He has 27 points.
Well, he's well on his way to another MVP here if he keeps this up.
Look at this score now, 78-73. That's after 3 quarters of play in the Milwaukee Arena. 85-80. Bird has scored all 5 points of this 4th quarter.
There's Larry Bird on defense. Watch Bird anticipate right here. Figures with the ball, tries to make the pass, plays the passing angle beautifully, saves it from going out of bounds. He'll take it down the other end. Lester will come after him. Now watch how he lets Lester go by, controls the ball with the other hand, lays it up nice and easy on the glass.
All 5 points scored by Bird as we start this 4th quarter. 85-80. Tough shot by Lester. Whoa! He's hit 2 big shots outside for Chicago. Lester was 6 points. 85-82. Bird looked like he was going to take another poke at a 3-pointer. Off it comes to Kevin McHale. McHale, little body bumping with Kobe Dietrich.
Larry Bird's three-pointer, that's the first 3-point shot that he's made since February 17th in San Antonio when he won a game with it.
You never know it, as nonchalant as he was about it. Chris Ford, a 3-pointer. Gilmore rips it down after Lonnie Lester. 2-on-2. Lester, boy, is he playing with a lot of confidence. Keenan blocked by Perry. Lester comes up with it, and Lester's all over the place right now. 10 minutes left. It may be the final 10 minutes of the year for Chicago. Boy, what an effort they have put into this game. Still, they trail by 3, 85-82. Larry Keenan, and the shot clock has expired on him. That happened in the 4th quarter Friday night to him on 2 occasions.
Celtic defense was outstanding that time. You have to credit that. Look at him, Elmore on the bench.
That's the support you were mentioning. That Celtic team got up. They were applauding, trying to upset some of this Chicago crowd. Chris Ford. Ford into Kevin McHale. That basket will not count. The foul coming before the shot. There's M.L. Carr, who missed 41 games this year because of a broken foot. The foul was on Dietrich, his 3rd personal foul. 9:42 left in this unbelievable game. The intensity as Chicago somehow trying to win the first game of this best-of-7 series. Some pushing inside. Henderson, Larry Bird, to Parrish. He got to the ball. A reaction from the bench. Cedric Maxwell didn't agree with that.
Move again. Larry Bird will make a fine pass inside the Parrish. There you see him get up, drop it into Robert. There he moves his feet a little bit. Move the pivot foot before he put the ball on the floor.
Ricky Sobers. Shakes loose. Key shot from outside, and they're down by 1. Lester, Greenwood, and now Sobers from outside. Sobers with 10 points. Parrish. Robert Parrish, 87-84. Parrish with 8 points after not even scoring in that first half when he picked up 2 fouls early in the game. 9 minutes left. Theus. Don't forget, immediately following this, the 4th and final round of the Masters. And what a final round it's going to be. Broken up. That's off of Boston.
At that time, they missed Dwight Jones. He made a cut from the weak side into the middle of the floor, had his man on his back, and they didn't get him the ball.
Now, there's only 7 seconds on the shot clock. Gilmore, and he is held. Chris Ford reaching in, committing the foul.
That's why, Rick, it's so important to play with guys that know how to make a variety of passes. Because Dwight Jones had perfect position. And the guy with the ball didn't even really look at him. He looked at him, but he didn't try to make the pass.
Dietrich, we saw Larry Bird hit the deck. 87-84, 3-point lead. Gerald Henderson. Rebound, Gilmore to Theus. You saw Ford going for that outlet pass. Theus almost walked with it as Henderson reached in, and out Dietrich hit the floor. It must be slick there because Bird fell earlier, and now Dietrich did.
Well, Bird got pushed down, and Dietrich slipped on the wet spot that Larry left on the floor.
Sobers off to Kobe Dietrich. Ricky Sobers. Rebound, Parrish. 8 minutes, 11 seconds. Still a 3-point lead for the Boston Celtics. Off to Larry Bird. Bird, up to McHale.
I tell you what I like about McHale even more than his rebounding and his defense is the way he makes a quick move. He gets the basketball. He doesn't waste any time. He does something with it right away.
13 points for McHale, and again, what total involvement by this Boston team. The bench is just as involved right now as the 5 men that are on the floor. 7:57 left in this game. 89-84 Boston. Joe Louis, certainly a legend of all time.
That is the first person I ever heard of with the youngster that I didn't know. He's a hero since I can remember.
89-84, the Celtics with the lead. Chicago, an important trip down the floor. Gilmore up to Ricky Sobers. 7:40 left in this game. David Greenwood. Greenwood now with 22 points. He's hit 10 of 15 from the field. He and Larry Bird having quite a matchup. Bird has 27. Let's look at it statistically between these two. The rebounds, the biggest thing, 10 of them for Larry Bird. And all of a sudden, 8 points now for Gerald Henderson. 91-86. Boston, the Celtics would like to close it out. Get some rest and get ready for the winner of that Philadelphia-Milwaukee series. Ricky Sobers backing in on Henderson, and have a basket counting, a chance for a three-point play. Chris Ford felt that there could have been a charge on that play.
Well, there is some battling going on inside. Gilmore and Parrish still at it. Here goes Sobers on the move. Henderson staying right with him, step for step. There's the move. Now Henderson moves the body along with him, makes the contact, tries to pick up the offensive foul by falling down, but Wally Rooney said, not this time. There we'll see that fine pass just a moment ago by Larry Bird. Look how he just super lead Henderson with a good move in the air, laid it in.
Ricky Sobers now at the free throw line, hits another one. It's a 2-point game after that three-pointer. 91-89 inside, 7 minutes left in this intense game from Chicago Stadium. McHale, out it comes to Chris Ford. Rebound, Sobers, a chance to tie the game, the Chicago Bulls. Sobers broken up by Ford.
Bounce pass right there.
Exactly.
Look at this, a 1-point game in the fourth quarter. Remember, Philadelphia leads that series 2-1. That would be 2 games on the road that they've won back-to-back if they could do it. 9 minutes left in that game. Ricky Sobers. This up to Greenwood. And that'll be off of the Boston Celtics. They'll have a fresh 24 seconds.
Now they ran Greenwood to the other side of the court to shoot. He's been hitting very well from the other side. And sometimes that makes a difference.
It really does. Sometimes you just got the feel looking at it from a certain angle. You go to the other side, and it's like you're in another stadium.
Sobers is really doing the job. He's tied it up. 91 all. Sobers with 15 points. Now, wait a minute. Daryl Garrettson spotting the foul. Going to go on Ricky Sobers. That's 5 on Sobers. Sobers in real foul difficulty. Tiny Archibald coming back in. Henderson will lead. Ronnie Lester will come back in for Chicago. Look at that fan. All right. Sobers is going to sit down.
ML Carr also coming in for Chris Ford for the Celtics.
There's a foul difficulty. Also remember that Jones has 4 in this game. Here's Archibald. Off to Bird. In to McHale. He walks to the ball. McHale. Oh, he doesn't believe it.
Well, he also could have been called for an offensive foul. He just put his backside into the man and just tried to walk him into the basket.
He's saying that the defensive man pulled him over.
Look at the turnover. 17 now against Boston. 91 all. Theus has to chase it down. 13 seconds on the shot clock. Greenwood. Look at that play by Perry. Up to ML Carr. Robert Perry to Kevin McHale. McHale powers in, and he's fouled.
On Dwight Jones, I believe that would be his 5th.
Dwight Jones is 5th.
There we see the play again. ML gets the ball out. Now McHale will take it in. Looks like he got hit on his hip on this one. On the right hip. He lays it in there real strong. Doesn't go in the basket, but he'll be at the free throw line.
Jerry Sloan's going to have to get Dwight Jones out of there now with that 5th foul. Kobe Dietrich will come in for him. So, 2 men, Ricky Sobers Dwight Jones have picked up their 5th fouls in a matter of seconds, and they have to sit out and await a later return to this game.
And they're going to give Larry Bird a rest. Maxwell's coming in for Larry Bird.
Hey, one thing, Sloan surprised me by not getting a technical, but I do have noticed one thing. In playoff competition, the officials are much more reluctant to give the technical fouls out quite as soon.
Well, that is the first time that Bird is set down in this series here in Chicago. He played 48 minutes Friday, and of course played the entire first half and up to this point. McHale now with 14 points, misses a free throw, and the Celtics with a 1-point lead. 92-91. Ronnie Lester getting some very good play out of him in this game. Reggie Theus trying to shake ML Carr. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Greenwood with 8 seconds. 7, 6. They're going to have to hurry down. Lester, nice fake by Lester. Gilmore keeps it in play. Greenwood, tough shot. A 1-point lead for Chicago. 24 points for David Greenwood. Look at this. Milwaukee's leading still by 1. 2 excellent playoff games. Just about 7 minutes left in that game in the Milwaukee Arena. Here's Kevin McHale being bumped around. 5 minutes to go in this one. Out to Tiny Archibald. To ML Carr. Oh, he got the glass. I don't think he figured that one was going in.
Well, I don't know if he was planning to use the glass or not, but I know that the whole Boston Celtics team and all the fans were happy to see it drop.
94-93, Boston by 1. Theus, he took on Parrish, and Parrish may have gotten a piece of the ball. Tiny Archibald. Archibald up to Cedric Maxwell. Parrish again. So Parrish on both ends of the floor really does a job.
And this game is getting very, very physical.
Watch that last play. Here comes Theus. He's going to go in for the dunk shot. There's Parrish with him. Let's see if Robert gets part of it. Reggie just didn't get quite high enough is what happened.
Kevin McHale was also near proximity to that ball if he didn't get it. 96-93, Lester. Boy, this rookie wants the ball. Rebound, McHale again. Off to Tiny Archibald. 4:08 to go. The Celtics by 3. Archibald off to ML Carr. ML Carr's hit 2 big buckets. And Jerry Sloan asks for a timeout. And look at the Celtic bench. They clear out on the floor. Greeting that 5. As now Boston leads it. 98-93. 3:59 to go. We have 2 outstanding games unfolding today, and look what's coming up later today. Phoenix in Kansas City, the Kings with a 2-1 lead, and San Antonio against Houston. Houston leads 2-1. Did you see where Moses got 41 points in that last game?
Hey, listen, Moses is a heck of a basketball player.
There's the third period shooting. Look at that. Now we will be selecting Wednesday the game that we think has the most importance. And we'll be bringing it to you Wednesday night, 11:30 Eastern Time. We're waiting for the outcome of today's games before we determine what our next playoff game will be. There's Larry Bird still on the bench, the only breather he's gotten in this 2-game series here in Chicago Stadium.
We were talking during the commercial, Bill, that the one thing about this Celtic team, there isn't one player that comes into the game for them that's not afraid to shoot the ball when he gets an open shot, and that's not true for Chicago.
That's right. Well, the way they set their offense up is that a guy will operate normally in the offense in his shooting range. And they want the guy to take the open shot because then nobody can double team anyone. That makes it easier on your teammates if you take the shot that you should take.
Well, we look to the far sideline now. Theus on the bench. Greenwood is in. Jones is in. And also Artis Gilmore. Dover's having all kinds of problems. Out to Dwight Jones to Gilmore. Gilmore is bumped by Kevin McHale. Now, I don't know what he's going to argue about on that one. He really had contact.
That's exactly right. He has no business arguing that one. He really gives Artis quite a bump here. But good defense by the Celtics. But Dwight Jones makes a nice play to get the ball around McHale, who went over to help out. Right there, he just ran right into Artis and bodied him. Artis will go to the free throw line.
98-93. 2 free throws coming for Gilmore. Higler. That cuts it to 4. Gilmore now with 17 points.
That's only the second free throw that the Bulls have had this quarter.
Big miss. 4-point difference. 3:40 left. Look at Lester on Archibald. Ronnie Lester You're going to see and hear a lot about number 12 in the years to come. I like the way he played.
I tell you, he came within one step of getting a 10-second violation on that play. He just didn't make it over half court in time.
Archibald off to McHale. The Bulls hustling on defense. McHale, rebound, Parrish. Gilmore rips it down, and now Chicago can cut it to 2 with 3:12 left in the game. Ronnie Lester gets a pick on Archibald, and he's fouled. Archibald reaching in, committing a personal foul. Tiny has not committed very many fouls, and that's been one of the things that's been so good about him is he has been able to play. They haven't had to worry about the foul difficulty on him.
They're playing going down the. They will come down and get a good shot every time down. Either a good shot or free throw.
And that's what the Bulls didn't do Friday night.
98-95. Ronnie Lester can cut it to 2. They missed another big free throw. 3 minutes to go. Archibald. Lester staying with him tough. Tiny off to Perry.
Free throws will kill you. It should be a one-point game. And this is going to be a foul on Greenwood, pushing off against Cedric Maxwell.
That's 4 on Greenwood. Here comes Spears back in, replacing Lester.
And what happened with Greenwood, he pushed back. And you almost always get caught when you push back.
The retaliation never pays off. Now Bill Finch yelling something to Archibald. 2 minutes, 45 seconds left in what might be the season for the Chicago Bulls. M.L. Carr. It's off of Boston. Chicago will have it. 98-95. Boy, you look at those 2 free throws, they've been down by 1 now.
That's exactly right. Plus the other ones that they made. Look at it now. Philadelphia now trailing by 6. Milwaukee making a little move.
Boy, I bet there's excitement there. A packed house at the Milwaukee Arena. Sobers into Gilmore, and it's a 1-point game. And Boston has called timeout. There's Jerry Sloan. Here's team down 3 games to none. They have come here and battled this Boston team down to a 1-point game with 2 minutes and 19 seconds to go. Playoff basketball, it has really been something. Following basketball this afternoon, we'll be switching to the prestigious Masters, the 4th and final round. I don't know how they can have more drama than they had in the 3rd round yesterday.
It was fantastic, and I'm sure that Watson and Nicholas will be battling it out this afternoon. But Chicago, Gary, has missed 9 free throws in this game, 15 for 24. Boston, 16 for 22. The free throw line right now could spell the difference.
And they missed 10 free throws Friday night.
Now, what both coaches probably will set up in the last couple of minutes are their favorite plays that they worked over the year. No trick plays, nothing spectacular, just the plays that have worked best for you throughout the year.
98-97, the Boston Celtics with the lead. 2 minutes, 10 seconds left in this 4th quarter. Larry Bird. Oh, what a shot, a pressure shot. He has 29 points. He had people on both sides of him that time. You see the time remaining?
That's worked for Boston most of the year.
Boy, I guess. 197. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Reggie Theus with Carr on him. Theus delivers. It's a 1-point game again. 199. Boy, what courage the Chicago team has shown today. Down 3 games to none. This is just incredible basketball. This place, they haven't quit yelling since the opening tip-off. Cedric Maxwell. Maxwell on the baseline, wide open.
I tell you right, they got away with their artist. Gilmore was just shoved out of the way by Robert Parrish. No call was made. Maxwell made the move and scored a basket.
102-99. Sobers following. That would have counted had it gone in. Archibald committing a personal foul. Sobers has really gone in tough in this 4th quarter.
He's done a real fine job, and he's been their clutch performer all year long. If you had to pick one player out that's done a remarkable job for this team, it's been Ricky Sobers, and with 3 chances to make 2, we're going to have a 1-point game again with 1:16 left.
Well, I would think this would be the guy you would count on. This is the one the Bulls would want to have at the free throw line. Ricky Sobers this year, you know, you You're talking about his free throw shooting. He hit 49 straight at one time this year. 102 to 100. 1:16 left. Boston might sweep this series, but that's really not indicative of how good a series it's been.
Chicago has played great basketball, especially these last two games.
Look at this. Milwaukee now has a 10-point lead in that game. 3 minutes plus left in that game. 102 to 101. Archibald up to Maxwell. Maxwell wheels in. Broke it up. And we're going to have a foul on Boston.
ML Carr picking up the loose ball foul. Reggie Theus will go to the line for 2 shots.
57 seconds left. The Reds are on their feet. That's 3 fouls on Maxwell.
Here's the play. Maxwell making the drive on the penetration move. He gets hung up in the air. Gilmore was there. So was Greenwood. And there's the foul reaching in by ML Carr. Reggie Theus to the line.
The biggest spread in this game has been 6 points. To show you how close it's been. And we're all even now. 102 all. Theus can give Chicago the lead. Reggie Theus with 11 ball points. There's Jerry Sloan, who was 11 years an outstanding player in the NBA. You can no doubt hear the crowd in the background. Archibald. Off it comes to Larry Bird. Parrish runs over Gilmore. There's no penalty. And driving in is Larry Bird. Chicago asks for a timeout. I'd like to see that on replay. Parrish and Gilmore just literally collided with each other, and down they went.
That's a foul on someone. I don't care how clumsy the big guys are.
Let's look at it. Sandy Grossman, our director, has it.
Well, here's the play. Let me come across. Bird with the ball. Right there, Artis was standing, and Parrish just crashed right into him, knocked it down. Bird goes in, makes a super move. Nobody there to help out. He puts the Celtics up by 1. Now let's take a look at that replay again. This could be the play that wins the game. Now right there, this look what Robert Parrish just runs right over Gilmore. No foul. Here comes Bird on the move. He gets by Greenwood. He gets by this. He lays it in, and with 39 seconds to go, the Celtics have a 1-point lead.
31 points for Bird. Now let's talk about the MVP. I would select Bird for Boston. What about Chicago?
Probably David Greenwood.
I think I'd go along with that. Would you, Rick?
I think Artis has been this outstanding, so is Theus, but Greenwood, I would concur.
All right, Greenwood has 24 points. It's a 1-point game for Boston. They lead 104-103. 30 seconds now left in this contest. Greenwood. To Dwight Jones. Gilmore. Who's got it? It's out to Archibald. With 20 seconds. And now they'll bring it back out. They'll take their time. They'll try to kill the clock. And a foul on Reggie Theus.
I'd like to see a replay on that shot. I think that ball by Dwight Jones was chipped on the way down to the basket. And if we could see that one more time, it might have been defensive goaltending on that play. Let's take a look at it. Now here comes the ball to go into Dwight Jones, and he's going to make a spin move to the basket. Now let's see if anybody touches it on the way down. Now that little move underneath by one of the Celtics, it looked to me like that ball may have just been touched on the way down and was enough to knock it out of the basket.
Boy, you saw the roll that Cedric Maxwell got on that free throw. Now another one makes a 3-point play.
He makes it, you have to make the 3-point.
And we come down to what we had Friday night, when Chicago was trying to win it with a 3-pointer. Maxwell needs this one to give them the 3-point lead. He did not get it, but a rebound. What a rebound by ML Carr. Carr trying to stay away from him, so they can't foul him, but Bird is fouled, and that's not the man they'd like to send to the line.
They had a golden opportunity there, and to let the man in the middle on a rebound off of free throw is inexcusable. And against the inability of the Chicago Bulls to execute and do the things that are required to do when the game was on the line has cost them dearly, along with their free throw shooting. And even with all of that's happened, if they had made their free throws, this game would have been theirs.
But to let that rebound happen. Bird.
First thing you learn when you learn to play basketball, so you scream it down.
A 4-point 2-point game now. 107-103 with 7 seconds left. And the Boston Celtics playing great pressure basketball as they would like to put another flag up above the Boston Garden. And they have played remarkably well, but I cannot say enough for the Chicago team as well.
I agree with you there, Gary. Chicago has adjusted, and they have played extraordinarily well. They losing this game today. That's something extraordinary happened. They didn't lose it. The Celtics beat them. The Celtics.
I understand we're having a little trouble with your microphone, Bill. And as we take a look at the credits, Robert Stenner, our producer, our director, Sandy Grossman, boy, they've done a great job. Rick Sharp, our associate producer, Mike Burks, our feature producer, our associate director is Rich Nelson, our field operation engineer is Harold Schutzman. Bill, I'd like for you to say that again because we were having some problems with the mic.
I said the Chicago team has played remarkably well. They made a lot of adjustments. They picked up the pace. They just played great. I think it's taken an outstanding team to beat them today. And what the difference has been in going down the stretch, they made a few more mistakes than Boston did. Boston made a couple of mistakes, but Chicago made a couple more. Like that key mistake was on that, didn't the guy get the offensive rebound on a free throw like that?
Let's go get him, guys.
But it's a 48-minute game, and all the things add up over a period of time. You don't lose a game on one play.
7 seconds left in the Chicago season. 107-103.
Well, we were told they had the truck looking at that replay again on that one shot that I thought somebody might have just barely touched that ball, and they say that nobody touched it, so glad that that wasn't a situation that could have cost the Bulls the ball game.
Ricky Sobers into Gilmore. Three-pointer is needed. Greenwood with the three-pointer. Bird with yet another rebound, which reminds me, Bird is our most valuable player in this game. A total of 33 points. And you can see some of the hand slapping going on. The Celtics are going to sweep this series. They'll await the outcome of the Milwaukee-Philadelphia series.
And Ricky Sobers went over and congratulated the guys on the bench. I think it was a nice gesture on his part, but the Bulls should hold their head high because they played some great basketball.
So the Miller High Life Most Valuable Player Award goes to Larry Bird for the second consecutive game, but who else can you vote for? 33 points in this game.
If he wins a couple more, he'll be able to put a couple of guys through college.
Anyway, the Miller $1,000 donation will be made to the Special Olympics on behalf of Larry Bird, now with 34 points. 108-103. Well,
it's been fun doing these games.
Oh,
they played super basketball here. That's just an indication of what's to come here on CBS as far as the playoff coverage is concerned. They're going to get better and better.
109-103. Well, Rick and Bill, it's been something. We got a lot more to come Wednesday night, 11:30 Eastern, and we'll be announcing that game after all of the action concludes today. So the Boston Celtics move into the Eastern Conference Finals with a 4-game sweep over the Chicago Bulls with this win here today. Now we're going to switch you to Milwaukee for that Philadelphia-Milwaukee Bucks game. Let's join Dick Stock.